Good evening. It's 5:30. We are starting a little bit early tonight. Currently present are Tom, Mary Ann, and myself and the town manager. We have a quorum, so we're going to begin the meeting. I understand that Lloyd is on his way. He can join us when he arrives. The very first order of business tonight before anything is an executive session. And so I will move to enter executive session. Well, first off, there is one thing. A member of the Conservation Commission, I believe, wants to attend. Does any select board member have any objection to that? Okay. I move we enter into executive session for consultation with legal counsel pursuant to 1 MRSA section 4056E regarding Wayne's 100-acre wood.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We will adjourn into executive session. Yeah, I'll move that we exit executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. At this point, I want to open this for a brief board discussion regarding a next step in this matter. Being a possible meeting between the town council, opposing council, town representatives, and whoever they want to have attend on their side to generally discuss our respective positions. That discussion's open. What do y'all think about that?
Good next step.
Makes
Check,
perfect
yeah.
sense, and
Yep.
we want to move this forward.
Okay.
We got to resolve this.
So then, if we have this discussion, we should decide who's going to attend. 1, 2 members of the select board, town manager, our council. Anybody else? I'd suggest we want to have select board representations that gives a good response back to the board on what's going on. I don't know that we need to have a posse attending this meeting. So what do you any ideas on that?
I think a good legal mind is probably a benefit to this process.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I nominate you.
Do we want to have another board member? We don't need to, but we can't. No. Okay, Shannon certainly will attend. Okay, so
Well, I'd like to be involved, but maybe I'm too close to the matter. I've been with it since 2013.
well, you can
2023 is,
Oh,
so I don't know, what,
well,
what,
I think history is important.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to attend?
yes,
Is that-
especially if it can be done by, Zoom.
Yeah, okay. So then I will make a motion that we ask Shannon to contact our attorney Phil and request that a conference be set up with the claimant and their legal staff, legal counsel, to discuss our respective positions, to be attended by Lloyd and myself and Shannon and Phil on our side.
Second.
Any discussion? We're open for public comments on that. Any public comment? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, we're back to our normal order of business. We haven't pledged our allegiance yet, so let's stand and pledge allegiance. The flag is in the back. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anyone have any additional business not included on the public's published agenda that they want to suggest we take up tonight?
Is the follow-up on the potential cannabis ordinance listed here on the agenda?
No, it is not. Would you like to
Add
address that?
that for brief discussion.
Does anybody have any objection to that? Remind me, Tom, in case I forget
Okay.
before we leave, which is a high possibility. Anything else? Hey, do any members have conflict with anything on tonight's agenda? Does anyone have a motion on the meeting minutes?
Move to approve the minutes for, January 6th, 2025. I can't vote, but I can move.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Warrants and donations. Is there a motion on payroll number 26?
Move to approve payroll number 26 in the amount of $13,236.95.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
Move to approve accounts payable number 27, in the amount of $40,832.05.
Second.
Anything to tell us about this one, Shannon?
So you'll just notice under the Kennebec County Registry of Deeds, for $200, we are currently already $810 over that budget line, or 127% expended. That's for the tax administration line. It does not set us back as far as the overall budget category, as we do have surplus and other accounts that cover down on that, but just for your awareness moving forward for budgeting purposes. Also, you'll see the Van Ness Hengen Breslin, that's for the Community Resilience Project. That was through a grant and it's not considered in the budget, but it was covered through the grant. And then other than that, we have 2 quarterly payments and a policy premium. So
Okay,
in addition.
thank you. Any discussion by board members?
Can you help me understand a little bit better what drives that $200 item that takes us over budget and how that is handled or maintained, managed?
Yes, so for the tax administration line, we currently have $3,000 budgeted. So of that $3,000, what we put that towards are those tax reminder cards. And so that's a purchase through copies, et cetera. In addition to all the lien filings, they have to be recorded through the Kennebec County Registry of Deeds for every filing, and any release of any liens, those also go to the filing. And those costs this year for each page went up. And so also we're moving into the foreclosure process here coming up in February. So those lien notices also just went up. So it's just mostly postal coverages.
Okay. And we're probably going to be going a little further over on that in that case.
Yes.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Is there a motion on the donation for Lad Center programs?
Move to accept donations in the amount of $700 to supplement the existing appropriation for the Lad Rec Center programs.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The donation for the aging at home,
Yes, move to accept donations in the amount of $165 to supplement the existing appropriation for aging at home programs.
Second.
discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 4-0. Old business, the applications for appointment of 4 comprehensive plan committee members. Those are from the at-large town appointments. I'm gonna kind of open this up to Shannon, who has put out the solicitation and collected the applications. Why don't you get us started on this, and then we'll go to discussion and figure out how we want to proceed.
All right, so after this was put out through the email distribution, we received, I think it is 8 There was one that was included in your packets that I just received on Monday, so it is included in this packet. It wasn't in your initial one. And that would be Robert Bandy. Going through, I mean, it looks like you have a lot of just experience from people living here over the years. We can start and just kind of go through them. They're alphabetized. So Chris Hurd has been an engineer for 40 years, consulting business for 15, has owned a house in Wayne for 10 and been visiting Wayne for 63 years. A data analyst with computer-related experience, self-employed, and they included their website. Cynthia Pettingill, I believe is also here present in the audience. And so if there's anybody that I do mention that is in the audience, or I don't see anyone else online other than Betsy Clark, just let me know and we'll switch you out. But Cynthia Pettingill is here present, has lived in Wayne for about 35 years and has been on the Board of Selectmen before and served as a chairperson. Has worked in private and public service for over 50 years and also is very invested in the community and the future of it. Ford Stevenson has been in this town for over 76 years, sixth generation Wayne-er. Has served on several town committees, including 20 years on the planning board. And I believe he mentioned that he has previously served on the comprehensive plan committee. Lynette Stiniford has lived in Wayne for over 40 years and taught at the elementary school for 25 of those years. Also served on the ordinance committee for the campground ordinance, and then decided that while working on that campground ordinance, understood how important the comprehensive plan is. So very important as well. Robert Bandy spent 27 years working in teams at IBM, very interested because he cares about the Wayne's future. Also is very involved with the library and the fire department with the community. And also works from home, so as a technical account manager. And then Trent Emery, previously on the select board and currently on the budget committee, has found interest in also serving on the comprehensive plan as well. And then we also have Tyler Stevenson, who I think was the first application to be submitted. Born and raised in Wayne and has deep roots in the community with 26 years of service and currently a major in the Maine State Police. I think you have a wonderful selection of residents to choose from. And so I think you have to pick 4 at large. We'll move into the other 2 board and commission appointees after this. So you did get those from the Conservation Commission and as well as the Planning Board. But as far as right now, you just got 4 out of, I think.
Question.
That's
Did precedent for 4 people on this committee, were we hoping to get 4? And we wound up with 6 applicants. Is
That's
there a
what I-
reason to limit it at 4 or just let all 6?
Well, our charge says 4
Plus the
also, plus we have 3 others to be 7 members altogether. Plus our charge indicates this committee has more on their plate than 7 people are going to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so I think our charge indicates that anybody who applies but is not actually put on the committee, that their applications will be referred to the committee for them to be contacted and participate on whatever subcommittees or special groups that the planning committee may decide to make. So I don't know, Tom, there isn't, I mean, the charge is ours to make and we made it. That also means it's ours to change. But if we would have had 12 applications, I don't know that we would want to have a 12-member committee.
Yeah.
So
I think we've provided 4. If we have more than 4, those applicants are.
yes, I referred to the to the committee, and I think they'll probably, if they're willing and able, I'm sure that the committee will be able to put them to good and valuable use in coming up with a comprehensive plan.
Who were the first 4 in?
first 4 submitted. It was Tyler Stevenson, Ford Stevenson, Brent Emery. And what's that? And Chris Hurd, yes, thank you.
Forward two,
I don't know how, say what?
Well,
forward two.
we have seven,
By the
however.
way, it's 6 total.
Six,
seven?
initially, there's a seventh one that, I thought you said 8 at one
Yeah.
point.
I thought I had 8. I think I counted 7.
Okay, 7 is what I counted. One and
So
Cynthia.
4 and 3.
4 and 3.
Excuse me,
I
Cynthia
don't-
Pettingill.
Are you,
Know of a
You got it on all. the-
better way for us to.
I don't have a good suggestion on how to select between 7 all qualified individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
if-
very hard.
Cynthia
If,
Pettingill.
Send in that.
if you're suggesting a first apply, first pick.
In the absence of,
does it- yeah.
seeing something that should be disqualified.
Well, does anybody see anything in any of the write-ups that would say, hey, this person has a particular skill that we want to put on there? I mean, everybody is well qualified and looks like they'll do a good job. I don't have a better idea than first apply, first pick.
Yeah.
Unless someone sees a skill set that would be extra helpful.
Well, I think that a new person, I think is because of the last one to come in, but a new person in contrast to people who've been here forever, makes some sense. Bill Hurd, no,
I was thinking Chris Hurd because of that,
with
but everybody is,
Well, Chris, I
Make
guess, is in
excellent.
on the first end deal, is that correct?
no, Cynthia Pettingill was.
Yeah.
Yes, January 8th. You had 4 applications on January
Okay,
He's the 9th.
8th. Yeah, it's in the top right corner.
it seems,
Oh,
one
yeah, I
difference
see.
seems to
Okay.
be,
Mhm.
it's the darndest thing, we were just worrying about whether there'd be enough, and
Right,
No, it's an embarrassment of riches
about-
here. We're-
yes, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I can't think of a better way than you're suggesting, for lack of, coming up with the 4 best people for this group, given, I don't know one of these individuals, but only one. And the rest of them, I would think we'd be really lucky to act as contributors.
so
We can
what,
also open it up to the audience if there's any insight from anyone, or
Mhm.
maybe Cynthia might want to talk about that while you're here.
Not particularly. I'm still not sure who's going to be appointed, but I did think that either I was looking at the old comprehensive or the comprehensive plan we have right now, or if it was in the charts that there were 2 alternates.
I was wondering that, I couldn't remember.
Pardon me?
I said I was wondering about that, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
So I don't know if that would be helpful or not to
We-
consider.
I don't think we have an alternate in the charge, but there,
I
Yeah, I meant
was
to look
trying
at it, I
find the
didn't.
charge and I couldn't find it. Right.
In the document.
Do you have it handy?
Yeah, I'll pull it up on my phone.
Hmm.
also on our applications. Do they indicate on there, like, how much time someone is willing to spend and is available for?
Well,
I
don't think we
supposed to
asked.
be
If they
one-
have, I know, but
supposed to be
I,
Like 1 meeting a month for,
I-
and 3 years to
Yeah.
develop. a plan.
I think that, that would be something good to put on our future applications,
So you're talking about the non-voting associates. The committee may request the select board to appoint non-voting associates to assist the committee in its work, as the committee may from time to time see fit. And such associates appointed shall serve the committee in a purely advisory capacity. Request by the committee that the select board appoint associates shall be accompanied by written descriptions of the roles and responsibilities proposed for such associates. Mhm.
Any other comments? Yes, Paul?
One factor that the select board members may want to consider is diversity. And gender diversity may be the factor that may be useful to consider.
Does the first four people in the line meet the gender diversity criteria?
Not in terms of gender,
We got. You
three
got,
male, one female.
yeah, you got 3 guys and
One.
1 gal. How's that? I'm sure Paul will not like that characterization, 3 males and 1 female. Uh,
Diversity is also important to consider in terms of all kinds of perspectives as well.
Mhm.
That's very true.
Does anyone know who the nominee or the appointment's gonna be from the building committee?
So it wasn't from the building, it was from the planning board, the conservation commission, and an appointment from the select board.
Okay.
And
Cause
the-
there is another female from the, conservation committee.
Yes. Paula.
yeah, Paul.
And then
Paul's
also,
the Conservation Committee nominee and Richard is the Planning Board nominee.
Mhm.
Could be diversity of spousal connections as well.
Well, yeah, we can visit about that when we get to there, but
Mhm.
And should that upset what will the next one in line be?
I mean,
well,
you have some good experience here from a selectman that's also served on as a chairperson and has lived in this town for over 35 years. You have somebody that's also served in the school system and served and taught in the school for over 25 years. You have a resident that's 6th generation for Wayne and has already served on the comprehensive plan. And then you also have some other experience in between Robert Dandy and Chris Hurd as far as consulting and engineering and system software. So those are
Somebody's narrowed down by mentioning everyone.
so,
focusing on
Yeah.
some of the different kinds of
so,
Well,
characteristics.
and we
So
will
what's
be
Ford-
working with data and
so what's
Chris is,
Ford was on the Ford was on
The
the
comp plan.
planning, the comp plan board the last time?
He was.
yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think that's important, carry forward experience, and he's been on the planning board for a number of years, okay? And he's an early bird, 1/8,
He was.
okay?
Chris Hurd, we're gonna
now,
be dealing with a lot of data. Chris
Cynthia-
Hurd is very good at data.
Yeah, Cynthia was on the select board, back selectman then.
Mhm.
Has town experience, and is also an early bird. Means
One
they
of the
applied first.
4 applicants.
Now, as far as, Chris Hurd, he's not an early bird. He's 1 day out of the early category. But he does have he is a data analyst.
Might be a good
He,
associate.
he may be new blood, if that's, I mean, we talk about experience.
Yeah,
Is there something to be said for new blood?
I think so.
And you have that with Chris, even though he's not one of the early ones. What do we think about that? Okay,
I think that that's something to consider.
okay. And so,
then if.
that leaves us.
That leaves us with.
Lynette seems qualified. I don't have any problems with the qualifications. She's not an early bird, but then neither was Chris Hurd.
Having
I
looked at this,
I don't know that. I think diversity is important.
Mhm.
I think, diversity as far as newness with the town, diversity as far as skill sets go. I don't know how I feel about making an appointment based solely on that. But if that's what we,
Well,
if
having
that's,
the school
that's okay, I think
having the
we would
school
have a
system-
qualified, I think we would have a qualified.
Yeah.
I think we would have a qualified candidate,
Having the
I would
school-
be, I'd hate to think that that's the only reason. But if it is, that's fine.
I think Lynette's, the fact that she has been involved with children in
Yeah.
the community is a perspective that's very important because youth and, the future are kind of linked. And that's a point of view that she would bring.
Seems to me you got it.
well, so,
So that leaves, right, and I thought the last three were three in sequence here. Until I saw the dates in the corner.
Bob,
So that leaves the last three is Tyler Stevenson, Bob Bandy, and I thought Trent, no? Or did I
Trent's,
skip
yeah.
over Trent?
No.
Lynette?
Trent and Tyler Stevenson were both, early birds. Who are, possible, what did we call them, associate members? Who are possible associate members, and hopefully they will be available and can contribute to the effort.
Hey, Trent just started smiling again after getting off the select board, so I don't know why he wants to jump.
Yeah, because he's on the budget committee too.
Is
Yeah,
that-
and both Trent
Is it-
and Tyler have so much experience and have done so much for the town. They certainly have a lot of knowledge. It's very difficult.
So
So
we good?
we got them.
So I'm gonna make a motion, and if I get this wrong, correct me. And,
Well,
and if you-
try.
I would move that for our at-large membership on the conservation, on the comprehensive plan committee. That we select Lynette Stiniford, Christopher Hurd, Cynthia Pettingill, and Ford Stevenson.
Second.
Any more discussion? Public comment? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. I would like to, we're gonna move on to the, persons, chosen by the planning board and conservation committee. As I read the charge, that's up to those respective committees to select who they want of their members to serve
That's what
on
I
the,
thought.
to serve on the board. So I don't know that there's much for us to talk about.
I think that it was just a motion to appoint them,
Okay,
I think.
Yeah.
I move that we appoint Paula Nasurian. If I get that right, Paul?
Nersessian.
Nersessian, I'm sorry, Paula Nersessian and Richard, help me, McAlee, to be the representatives from the planning board and conservation commission respectively to serve on the
Comprehensive.
comprehensive plan committee.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Now, we need to appoint somebody. You wanna do this, Lloyd? You were on it before.
So I was.
But you know what? It's always up, what do you think?
Oh, I was. I'm ambivalent about it.
Oh, okay.
Would, Hazel would not, be not here, so you probably would want to do
They
it.
probably kind of.
Hazel is not here. I'd like to give Hazel a chance to be on it if she can.
Okay.
So can we wait till next week to do that final appointment till?
Sure. But I would. That'd be 2 weeks to wait.
Yes.
I think we should schedule an organizational meeting of this group at the earliest convenience that you can arrange it with all of them because time is passing. And the comprehensive plan is a big task that takes a long time.
If I,
Would it make any sense, would it make any sense to have an organizational meeting sans the select board representative?
Yes, it is.
Could we do
And
that?
You
Yeah,
could even plan it out in 2 weeks, and then by the time that you appoint one, if they're available, then they can attend. If not,
okay. Let's try to get an organizational meeting going. Can
okay,
you take care of that for us, Shannon?
I
And,
can.
and then they can get organized and elect a chair and start their work.
I'll attend it if Hazel's not available. She might even say she doesn't want to or can't do it, but I think it would be terrible if she did it.
You're next to.
Okay, the next order of business is to discuss White Road. Hazel called, and I think maybe we need to have a little more in-depth discussion, but Hazel called me and indicated that, I'll phrase this as best as I can. She indicated that she was wanted to discuss it some more because was concerned about asking or directing the plowing when we didn't know the cost. Okay. And my response was, I want to make sure everybody has a chance to have input and consider this. And I would ask the board if they wanted to consider asking Shannon to just defer action on it until Hazel came back and we could talk about it some more. Now, we don't have to do that. I'm passing on a request. And that's it.
Were we gonna do the whole road or just enough for this person?
I think our motion was to plow up to their house.
7 minutes.
It can't be that much, can it?
I'm not
Well-
sure.
If we took the, what's the basis for our, I should know, because I helped to draft the committee, the contract, but if it's the same as the rest of the thing, what would it be?
What do you mean? What are we
So
talking
how much
about?
does it cost to plow the whole town?
No, but that's really,
It's 270,000.
that's really kind of that's really kind of it.
Oh,
That's really kind of irrelevant because what this is more akin to is plowing a really long driveway because it has to be done, it's gonna be done with the 1 ton according to,
It's not gonna be,
it's not gonna, yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be Mark, although maybe he would want to do it, maybe he wouldn't. If it was Mark, he can't do it with one of his big trucks. It's gonna have to be, and so I suspect Shannon's gonna have to go find somebody to do it. We can, and we need to get some, I would like to get a little bit of guidance from Phil about this, but my reading is this is not a discretionary action. There's a statute that says when any ways are blocked or encumbered with snow, the road commissioner shall forthwith cause so much of it to be moved or trodden down as will render them passable.
Right.
The town may direct a manner in doing it. The reasonable time is involved. And it says, all damages accruing to a person and his business or property through neglect of such road commissioner or the municipal officers of such town to so render passable ways that are blocked or encumbered with snow within a reasonable time may be recovered by such town by civil action.
oh boy.
So I think, and that's not the reason to buy. I think the rule says if it's a town way, it has to be plowed.
There are town residents
Now-
living there now.
Well, town residents live on private roads
Right, but their understanding was not that this was a private
And-
road.
and another thing, and so I would ask Phil, which I think is what it says, I'd ask Phil, doesn't this say that the town has a legal obligation to plow town ways unless that obligation has been properly suspended? And that comes with the next thing. There's a statute that provides a procedure for a town to suspend winter maintenance. And that suspension is only good for 10 years. And we have old warrant articles passed 10 years ago where that was done with respect to White Road. Shannon has not been able, and it's tough to, I couldn't find, she hasn't been able to find a warrant article where White Road was actually accepted as a town way. But there was a state map indicating it's a town way, summer maintenance only. And we have these two other warrant articles that I think were taken under statute, that the purpose of that statute is to relieve the town of an obligation to plow a road that they otherwise are obligated to plow. That's all I know about it. Now, do we want to tell her to hold off to talk about it some more? I'm happy to do that. If somebody wants to make that motion, I'll second it and we can vote on it.
Keep pushing it off, though, I mean, we'll be planting
Pretty-
grass seed.
Pretty soon they'll be, yeah, we'll have to mow their road.
And you're not having any luck finding anybody to do it?
No, I haven't, that hasn't been at the list of things that I've been able to get accomplished yet.
Now,
So your bottom line.
Shannon, do you have, I mean, do you have input that's contrary to what I've just said as far as this being a town way? There's nothing, have you seen anything that says it's not, or
I haven't seen anything establishing it as it is.
as it is? Okay.
So currently, the status is if there's snowfall that's significant enough, we would plow it up to their driveway.
Well, yes, based on what we did last meeting.
That's
That
the
is
current
correct.
status.
Yes, ma'am.
But is it considered a town road at this point? Has it been reopened since it was closed?
Well, it was never closed. It was closed to winter maintenance. That order is only valid for 10 years. Number one, it wasn't closed properly. I can tell you that. But even aside from the fact of whether it's closed properly or not, an order closing a road for winter maintenance is valid for no more than 10 years. And the last time it was closed was 2001. Now, we should take up this year, we should take up closing the remainder of that road properly past their house. And there may be other roads we need to take up, but that's something that we should do this year. I think, I would suggest.
Isn't that done at town meeting?
Well, yes and no. The town meeting, the select board has a public hearing and issues an order. The town meeting can approve that order, or the town meeting can have a warrant article that approves all such orders issued by the select board that year. So each one individually doesn't have to go to town meeting. And this business has to occur at a certain time of year. I think it's May through October is when you have to, like, we can't close a road for winter maintenance now. You can only do that between May and October, or maybe May and November. It's May and sometime.
And we should also make sure that somewhere, that order of business is revisited every year. Just, do we have any roads that need to be looked at?
Yes.
Yeah, that needs to go on the plate of the road committee, I think, and also as one of their things to advise us on.
Yeah.
And maybe when we get a good road inventory, it'll be easier to keep track of that and take care of it. But you're absolutely right. That should be looked at.
Could we agree to plow it with no, for 1 year while we debate all this other stuff?
Well, it's gonna be, here's the thing. It's gonna be a town way or it's not gonna be a town way. Right now, it appears to be based on the state
Right.
map and the action that we took in the past. And if it's a town way, I don't believe we have any option unless it's properly closed. And now that there's people living there, I don't know that you would have criteria to close it for winter maintenance.
So let's
That is something
propose
that
that
we
we
discussed.
plow the road.
Yeah, we've already done that. What
So
we're
that's
asking
the
is, do we want to
status.
go, do we want to go, do we want to rehash this even more than we have now in the last 15 minutes?
No,
No,
there's no need to rehash. We're gonna come to the same conclusion. Why
Okay.
rehash?
the risk is that we go over the budget in plowing for the year.
Well,
And what's our
we'll deal
recourse
with
then?
that problem.
Well,
We'll deal with it.
yeah, also, and you still need to you still need to get it approved by town meeting. But there are two budget categories where you can go over budget without prior town meeting approval. Okay? One is roads maintenance, the other is general assistance. And you can exceed your roads maintenance budget by 15% without prior town meeting approval. Now, you still have to go to town meeting afterwards and get them to approve it. Don't ask me what that means after you spent the money. I have no idea, but that's what the rule says. And so
We plow
Well,
the road.
yeah, we've already done that. We did that last time. So we are just going to move on now, having
Okay, good.
having considered the request
Request, yeah.
to, okay.
Good.
New business. An expenditure from the fire department reserve account for gas meters. Would you like to tell us about this, Taylor, before we take up board discussion?
Yes, I would like to make a very simple request. I think it's for up to $8,500, is that correct?
I put down 8,000.
I think for a little bit of buffer, I might ask for 8,500. There's a little bit of a question in the gas costs. Currently, we have 4 gas meters that reads carbon monoxide, oxygen levels, explosive gases, and hydrogen sulfide levels, and we use them most commonly on carbon monoxide calls. Somebody's detector goes off, they smell something funny, and we go and check and make sure that their house is safe, or propane investigations to make sure that there's not a concernable level of combustible gas. The units that we have now were bought over a span of several years, and they are starting to fail, and they have been discontinued. So we're looking at buying a whole new set of gas meters from a different company with a calibration station that is run monthly to make sure that they're within calibration specs. That also puts off a tracking sheet.
So I'm going to move to an approve an expenditure of up to $8,500 from the fire department for gas meters.
Second.
Board discussion? Public comment? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
And those air bottles that you also approved at a past meeting were just put into service, so those are all set, so thank you for that.
Okay.
Go to another train.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, review and discuss the proposed Lab Center Recreation Center ordinance. Okay, Eric sent that to us on Thursday morning. I got to it Thursday afternoon. I'm making questions that I have on it that I'm about halfway through. I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to look at it or think about it. It's just been done. I would suggest that we table it until next meeting. I will distribute before the end of the week Eric's ordinance, only with the line numbers and extra spaces, so we can refer to it by line.
Good.
Hey, I have a couple questions.
Yes,
too,
ma'am.
so- I mean, I'm just saying, I also have questions from what I read.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, and at the end of and what I would propose to do is I'll send out a thing with line numbers and increased spacing. I'll send my questions out. I'll do that before the end of the week. That's just, or here's what I thought. You all please think about it over,
Okay.
read it at the next meeting when we come back. I think we should discuss what questions we have and what we want to do about them. Do we,
Okay.
and And if you would like, I can send mine to Eric, or I can wait until the board decides what questions the board has. I think that's another way to do it. And then next week, we should decide what we want to do. Do we send it back to the Ladd Center? Do we send the ordinance with the questions to our lawyer? Do we meet with the Ladd Center and talk about, possible modification?
It might
These are
be-
things that we should decide, but I think it would be better decided next week after we've had a better chance to look at the ordinance.
If we could be given a deadline to have our questions added to this approval version that you speak of, and send it to him, so that he has a chance to think of what the answers are, that would be good.
I would think it would be much more efficient if we could get to this as soon as possible and make sure Eric sees it, because some of the answers may be fairly easy
You wanna have,
or easily modified, so that we had, some answers that we can have some action on next week.
you wanna have a workshop session before the next meeting?
Is that feasible, from your standpoint, Eric?
Well, first off, it's us to
Yeah.
figure out what our questions are. And I would, at a workshop session, it's gonna be open to it's a public, it's a meeting where you don't have any motions, but
Right.
it's open to the public.
Sure.
That'd
Is
be
that
fine.
something
Something.
Sure.
that you think would be good, Marianne? I-
Yes, I would
I-
like to be able to, if we
yeah.
have questions, I would like to get
Yeah.
them resolved rather than, because otherwise we're pushing it a month down the road.
Yeah,
Now, I would like to, Hazel was on the group that we originally appointed, Hazel and I, to visit with the lad board on this, so I would like to. I don't wanna cut her out of the deal, but I'm not sure what her schedule is.
do you want to tentatively say what suggest?
Can we do it on a Zoom?
If she wants to do that, that would be, I think we could do that.
Yeah.
But, okay, so, is there a time that you all would like to do that? It can be any time that fits in with your schedules and Shannon's schedule. It doesn't necessarily have to be at night. It can be at night. If it's during the day, we have to have it at the town office because this facility is in use during the day.
I'm fairly open. Fairly.
And I just need a date to post to make for, to account for reasonable time for residents to know that there will be a quorum of select board members working on something.
The other thing is
Yeah,
that,
you have to give notice of it.
Reasonable notice. I
would
just-
we not want it earlier in the day for Hazel's purposes?
That's fine. It's later, it's what, 5 hours later, and is she in England?
I think so.
It's 5 hours later there, so,
5 hours, yes.
yeah,
5
5 hours later, I believe.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, what day and time would work? Tom, I think everybody here is retired except for Tom. Is that correct or not? No? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Tom, what works for you? And Shannon, she's not retired.
She just feels like it sometimes.
I can try to, why don't we compare notes
Okay,
offline?
And check with,
Right.
I think my schedule is flexible.
yeah.
My,
and check with Hazel. a
You
little
you
bit.
guys decide.
Yeah,
And
between work
then I'll
calendar.
run it by Hazel and come up with something, okay?
Good.
And that takes care of number 10B. Okay, proposed budget workshop schedule. Do we have anything to talk about on that? I know.
Just if there's any
Sent it up.
conflicts or any questions about any of it, I sent it up to the select board member, or the budget committee, and I received one response back. But nothing, no conflicts so far. Just if there's any input or any changes you'd like to see. That is included in your packet,
Looked good to
the
me.
back, or back page.
Yep.
And I tried to include any school board meetings, I mean, at least the first one and then the last one, primarily, the main ones. But this includes both the budget committee and the select board meetings, and then proposed joint meetings, I don't know if if that's something that you'd like then, or if you want it moved up sooner. I'm sure we could tailor it as time goes on, if there's any conflicts that come up. But as of right now, if that looks okay.
Let's leave that as
think
it is until we get
I
closer.
think the schedule's good until somebody complains about it.
Yeah, I agree.
That has to
And
happen.
I'm okay.
Is January 21st meeting this sort of local officials thing or,
So the January 21st is for the Marina Cook School Board.
right?
And so that's just the director's budget meeting. I think
Right.
that's gonna open it up and start their budget process. I think it's for the directors, to give that to the superintendent to kind of start going over.
Or would it be, this TBD item? There was one time, there was a meeting that would be double to whatever is to be hit, the local, to give the local.
Oh,
Local,
The to be determined the school board annual school meeting regarding the budget,
would that
but,
be the time when we would be invited to?
I'll check with them and see if that's something that the select board usually attends.
We were accustomed to getting an invitation to a particular meeting that was involved all of the people. And I might go, I might not, will depend on schedules, but I'd like to know if they're doing that kind of a thing and when, what in this, it is.
I'll reach out to them.
Good.
The other thing along with that budget, and you mentioned it to me in an email, is county budget meetings.
Yes, any county budget meetings that are coming up.
If we can add that to this so that we
That's a
can
good
look at
idea.
it as it goes along.
The 20. Oh boy, I'm getting mixed up. The 28th at 4 o'clock is a session. We have 6 new members. We feel like we need something of some kind of a session to get started, to get them to get acquainted and just spend a short hour. We'll then issue an announcement as to when the exact official meeting is. We are thinking of just switching the time from 6:30 to 4 o'clock. In the idea of making it more likely to be people's working hours and see them in another evening
Right.
for the thing. And if that works for all the people, that's what we'll do.
Can we add that into this?
Yeah, so as they come up, I'll add them into
When-
here and
yeah.
then send that out to the select board.
It'll be after the 28th, we'll advise you on what those will be.
I forwarded an email from the deputy sheriff regarding dispatch services for the
Yeah.
county. And so I think they're setting up another meeting sometime in the next week or two.
Okay,
So I'm waiting to get that invitation because I do plan on attending that.
okay, good. That's the usual. In fact, I was with those guys this morning and those asked something, but that's another subject.
The big.
Yeah,
increase.
this is great. We get the county's meeting on this.
Okay.
That way you'll get to come and complain about the moves that I make, see? That'll be cool.
I think I'm most concerned about the dispatch change from Androscoggin County to the proposed alternative.
Okay,
That's a big
so
change.
Mhm.
are we ready to move on to 10D, proposed budget revisions?
So I didn't send off copies. I just made a list of kind of some of the topics that we started discussing. And I meant to bring a copy of the annual report from last year, just as an example for Article 21, which is the contingency that the select board has authorization for. Just expanding the language on that to authorize the select board to expend from that account for unanticipated overages from any budget category deemed necessary. So these are some changes that I've got to seek legal advice on, but I've got an ongoing list. And if there's anything you want to add, then please let me know. Language to move up an X amount of dollars between accounts with no impact on the overall budget. The town to delegate authority to the select board to establish a grant account. Right now, one of the articles is to accept grants, accept funds, but according to our new financial policy, we don't have the authority to establish those accounts, so we need to put something into our warrants to do that. An article for setting the tax dates. So Thursday, October 1st, Friday, January 29th, and Thursday, April 1st. Properly address the closing of roads if they're applicable. So that's something that I've got to go through and get an inventory done for and review all of those roads and then understanding the current statutes, what procedures need to be done for those. Trust funds that's a separate note, but reconciling that and then understanding that. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, on trust funds.
Yep.
We have funds that are carried forward year and year and year and year and year and year and year. That I don't know that anybody knows even what they're for.
Mhm.
We have a Jaworski fund. We have a Ruth Lee fund. We have a LAD special fund.
Mhm.
I would like to get some, legal advice on, since we don't know what these are, number one, maybe, I don't know how we find out what they are. We've looked through old stuff. Maybe send out, maybe solicit views from the community. Anybody know what the hell this is?
Mhm.
I think we need to get rid of them. My understanding is that we have a LAD special fund that was set up for the purpose of assisting residents. Have I got this right, Shannon? That the LAD special fund was set up for purpose of assisting residents?
So we don't have any specific paperwork that states that. However, the understanding in the office was that it was a special fund that if anyone had any concerns or issues, then they could come to the town and the town could issue them some money.
Yeah.
With no questions asked.
Yeah, like a supplement to general assistance. Well, the town apparently over the years has been doing that. And there is an accounting kept in our books of what we have done, but this fund has never been charged. And so we need to fix that up and see what we want to do with this LAD special fund. And reconcile it so that, and ask the town, explain to the town what's going on. And suggest, and you have an article that a certain amount, this is done with a certain amount, and a certain amount goes back to general revenues. Go ahead, ma'am. What?
I think the school, either the school had its own LAD special fund,
Uh-huh.
or the school might have occasionally tapped into that fund for students who had needs.
Was this when we had our own school district, or is this still, or do you think that's still currently for this, for the school?
Don't know.
Okay.
It's just
But-
ringing a bell.
Yeah.
And the Jaworski Fund,
Mhm.
has anybody talked to the library about that?
Hmm.
Because I was on the library board for a long time, and that name, it has library associations in my brain. I can't get you more specifics than that.
Thank you, Lynette.
But it would, you know, I think we should, if we can't find out what they're for.
Yeah.
Then I think we need to get rid of them, because it makes no sense to have 5 or 6 funds. That we just carry on from financial statement to financial statement to financial statement that nobody knows what they're for.
Is
And we
there
don't-
money-
We don't do anything with it.
Is there money in each of them?
Yes.
Mhm.
If you put, Paul,
Yes, ma'am.
if you put a notice in the messenger seeking.
That's an idea.
I would bet
That's an idea.
Somebody must.
somebody would know
Yeah.
in this town.
Well, and yeah,
Yeah.
and that doesn't answer it, but at least we can get some hints.
Well, the
Like,
deadline is
give us a
Friday, so
clue,
miss
like, are we
that.
warm or cold when we're going through the stack of town reports?
Maybe it's not
Or you could
all
just-
buttoned up yet,
Announce that you're gonna close them and see what the.
but somebody would have that information.
Well, we need to get Phil or somebody to tell us how to do that.
Yeah, there's
I just-
legal.
I
Yeah.
just think that the LAD special fund has been used for the purpose of general assistance supplement.
Yeah.
And that has been the general understanding of that's where and
That's-
I would guess that we could go back to the LAD family and
That's what I was thinking as well.
verify
They don't-
that.
We did check and they didn't have any verification.
Oh, really?
Correct.
Who did you check with? Just-
Gloria.
Okay, there could be.
Did you ask Mike also? You're
No.
just, okay,
Well,
just wondering.
okay.
They could have records in their charitable contribution. Is that something that's added to at all, or it's just strictly a trust with the interest being used?
Well, it's listed as a trust fund. I don't know that it's in an interest-bearing separate trust fund, though. I think those funds are commingled into our general account.
Yes.
But it's listed, so it's like a portion of our
General.
bank account
They're-
that's it's a committed reserve. is what you would call it, and, but it's not in a separate trust account. And,
It's in a separate 3 trust account,
yeah,
aside from the general operating.
Okay.
but it's all in the same bank account, right?
It's all in the same bank, but they're in separate.
Oh, we have a
banks.
separate account number?
We do,
Okay.
just
all
for
right,
those 3 funds put together,
Okay,
Together.
separate from the operating fund.
all right,
But what we've been doing, like what we've noticed has been done, is that those charges for the general assistance came out of the general operating fund opposed to that bank account. So there's a reconciliation that needs to be done there.
Yeah.
And it's already been started, but now we need to figure out the legal process on how that needs to go forward. And what documentation supports that, each of those funds.
Right, I would think that we'd need some legal help assigning those funds a purpose if we don't have it.
Yes. There are certain stipulations put on trust funds that we have to follow legally, so. Gotta get more advice on that.
It's interesting.
okay.
Consensus on the Lad Rec Center carry forward at some point.
Yeah, and that's there needs to, before town meeting, there needs to be a final, a final agreement between our treasurer and the LAD board on the carry forward for the LAD fund. Because we need to take it to the town and see if they will fix that up. Because there has been nothing in any of there have been no warrants indicating that this, first off, it hasn't been a budget fund. It hasn't been a fund that's been in the budget. It's just part of our bank account. Under the rules, those funds in the bank account that are not allocated in the budget or otherwise in a reserve account are uncommitted reserves. I think that money is right now in uncommitted reserves, and we need to explain to the town the source of these funds were contributions, from the lads. And to make things right, we need to have a warrant article, I suggest, that takes a transfer from uncommitted funds into a proper budget LAD center account. And then we can keep it straight from that, I believe.
And then the Lad Rec Center ordinance, which is currently being worked on. Moving Lad Rec Center under the buildings. We have a buildings category for utility use and maintenance, and all of that should be covered under the town for buildings and maintenance. The aging at home ordinance, I think, is currently underway as well, and then an operating expense for that to allocate towards, as well as the farmer's market operating expense. We'll have a warrant article coming up for the 100-acre wood, which we're working on. Adding a legal expense under the code enforcement officer, as well as travel expense. That's all included in the interlocal agreement with Reedfield. And so moving that under the CEO, because currently that comes under the general administration. Is there anything else as of right now? Those are just the notes of ongoing things.
There's nothing else that I can think of.
Yeah.
And some of these things I think we still need to hash out. We need to find out if, like, it seems to me that the legal for code enforcement, it would be nice if it was under code enforcement so the town could see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like we have, last year we had a budget of $60,000 for legal, but $20,000 of that was spent on one code enforcement action. And so it would be nice to segregate that out. On the other hand, if we put part of our legal fees in code enforcement and we don't have any enforcement actions, then we use that anywhere else. We need to,
Right.
we'll have to,
The language to move.
yeah, we'll
that
have to
if
see
need
that.
be.
Could we not just do separate line items under legal? And
That's possible, that's a possible way to do it, but it's just, I'd like for people to see,
What the department calls.
not just it's $60,000 you're sending to lawyers, it's that when people come in, and they should, and the town has an obligation to do that, but when we come in and say, hey, there's a junk pile over here that needs to be cleaned up. Well, they're correct, it needs to be cleaned up, but understand that has a cost to the town. And that cost should be transparent in the budget process, I think.
And that's what I've got for notes so far, unless there's anything else to add. Just for side
Good job,
things.
good job.
Thank you. Also looking at intern applications and infrastructure adaptation funds for
Good.
roads and
Good.
more projects. So we've got a meeting coming up for the infrastructure committee on February 5th. And so trying to meet with that and the buildings committee, I guess.
We're still looking
I'll let you
for,
go into.
yeah, we're still looking for applications on that one.
Correct. I extended that today, knowing that you weren't gonna be reviewing them. So I extended it till February 6th, what's that Friday?
And any other budget revisions to speak of?
Not at this time.
Okay, moving on to,
Eric,
Specific to town manager or stuff?
We can take it in public comments if you want.
yeah, I was just gonna say, we're moving on to public comments, but,
It is related to budget and the last.
okay.
I know that I think to you when I sent the draft ordinance that we have a bit of a chicken and egg problem in
Yeah.
terms of budgeting. We tried last year to revise the way that we budget the operating costs for the Ladd Center to have it fully reflect in the town budget, all revenues and all expenses. We've never done that in the past. It came in too late in the budget cycle last year to make that change, but right now we're at this point proposing to do that this year. Even though we probably won't have an approved ordinance that says that's what we're doing. But I think it's still the right thing to do.
Even if the ordinance is in limbo, the budget stuff needs to be straightened out. And, in the stuff that I sent you, Eric, there was a proposed warrant article. And I think that that should be on our town meeting. And where it said, here's the proposed budget, that's what we're gonna get from you. And it should include, I would suggest it should include all the employment costs, like for what we've talked about is, the town should take the cost for maintenance and electricity, et cetera, for this building and put it in the same place as maintenance and electricity for all the other town buildings.
And that's what we're proposing.
Yeah, you know-
Segregate facility costs versus the program
Yeah,
costs.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. And so we need to budget for the program costs.
Now, Shannon, I'm also suggesting to Adam that he should provide guidance to you on budgeting for those facility costs, because we do have all the history of that.
Yes,
Yes, we can kind of bounce back and forth as far as what I have on Trio, what he's got, and just kind of come up with a,
Yep.
that would be great. Thank you.
well, you've kept books on, and that's something that we'll visit about on the ordinance, but so far you've kept books that show those utility costs, et cetera, the actuals, is that correct? And so they should have that segregated for this building already.
Yes.
Okay. Any other public comments? Town manager report, anything else, Shannon, for us?
I mentioned the buildings committee, I mentioned the infrastructure committee. Don't think I have anything else as of right now.
Board member reports, anybody?
They was looking to close out the recreational cannabis ordinance issue. So you've got a piece of paper. I don't want to read the whole thing, but basically this was just a brief on looking at what the reality is across the state of Maine. And it was interesting seeing some of this information, right? Nearly 500 municipalities in the state of Maine, 126 of them allow retail adult use cannabis. So, which means that approximately 374 have opted out. All right, a modest number of, and we couldn't come up with the exact number. We do have a list of towns: Bradford, Carmel, Corinna, Corinth, Dixmont, Glenburn, Millinocket, as of March 2025, have additionally chosen to pass an ordinance explicitly banning or creating a moratorium on these businesses to make their stance clear. And then there were 6 categories of reasons that these municipalities and others who are considering thought it was worthwhile to have the separate ordinance, right? First one, which has a recent action associated with it, is avoidance of challenges. And I guess just the annoyance of having to go through it. Blue Hill had a business challenging the town's opt-out agreement and called for a town vote because they wanted to put a business in place. Blue Hill had to bring it up for the town to vote on it, and the town voted it down again. So the thinking is having another ordinance, having your own ordinance would strengthen and get people to not waste time trying to push their way forward. That was one of them.
May I give
Sure.
2 seconds on that? we were kind of broadsided, I think, with Jellystone and not being prepared for their request. And so, my thinking with the work that Tom has done too is, that if we're prepared in that way, we don't have to circle the wagons and figure out what we want to do and have that kind of sprung on us. You know, let's decide ahead of time. That's what we're doing and how we're doing it.
And I think at the end of the day, right, so I won't read the whole thing. Avoidance of challenges, I already said, address delivery services. You can get cannabis delivered. It's legal in the state of Maine. But you could try to limit that in your own ordinance. Regulate home cultivation. I think we talked about that in the previous meeting. Define public place for consumption was one that I thought was interesting. Because you're not supposed to be able to smoke in a public place, but towns decided, some were saying, we should define and say, no, to be clear, these are our public places where we don't want people smoking marijuana. Clarify medical marijuana, and then future flexibility, which you could apply to any situation where we think we might like to have an ordinance, like you know, parklands and campgrounds and things like that. Better to have an ordinance that you can amend versus trying to go through the process of creating one, especially if you got a challenge to the lack of an existing ordinance. So at the bottom of the page, it says, our recommendation is to keep this as an open item, albeit not an urgent priority. If the time allows, if we're saying, hey, what else do we think we can get accomplished? Let's take a look at the open items list, right? And say, what are the 2 priorities that remain on this list that we think we'd like to tackle while we've got some time and bandwidth to work on? But this is the summary that we can kind of keep an eye on what's going on. If towns find out they're getting themselves in trouble in different ways and this becomes more urgent, act on it. Otherwise, maybe file this away until we feel we've got time and interest to do it. The only other option I can think of is to have an individual put a draft together and get us to 90% of the way there, that the rest of us can say, okay, not a big deal to get this thing enacted and put out there for vote if we wind up in that situation.
That sounds great. My only input is if we're gonna have a delivery service, it needs to be called DoorHash.
Good idea.
Like DoorHash.
An idea for a business.
Other than that, I have nothing to say.
You should hear his 2 out of 3 rule. That's really. What's that?
For the public places, it should, I suppose that you may wish to consider the term consume as opposed to smoke.
I agree.
Because there are many ways that people can imbibe
Agree.
product.
Yeah, you wouldn't be promoting all kinds of weird ways. People be skirting the law by who knows that. This is true. Smoke came to mind. I wasn't reading it, so it may say consume on the document itself. I'm not sure. Just came to mind.
Good point, however.
But it is.
Okay, any other board member reports?
Oh, just one little thing. I was surprised, today I was given another revision of a ordinance, a plumbing ordinance. Which will allow for mandatory, at least as I saw the first version, mandatory pumping or otherwise maintenance inspection over a period of 5 years within the shoreline. I haven't read it yet because it just came in this afternoon, but we're gonna have another meeting on that shortly. And we'll move ahead from there.
Thank you.
Excellent. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Great.
Should we bring a space heater next time?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a sweater.